guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. A great big shout out to my channel members for supporting my channel. Thank you. All right, so this is my March 2023 coloring book and supply haul. I'll do a little bit of chattiness because there's some things I want to catch you up on. I will talk about the various supplies that I've purchased, and then I'll walk you through the books. And I did pick up books from Amazon.com, Book Depository, yeah, I said it, and Lyrica. So while I'm doing this intro chatty bit, I'm just going to leave this on my desk because I will be inserting some screenshots while I'm talking. So this first one I'm showing you is a book that's on order that I'm waiting. So this book was definitely inspired by Candace over at Happy Catastrophe. I've actually seen it recommended several times on Amazon, but with her new series, Color the Tarot, and then my own hashtag Coloring Your Star Zodiac, I think I'll really enjoy doing some of the images in there. And I actually have some buddy colors set up with my friend Colorist Jen over from Instagram. Now, the next set of images I'm going to be showing you are books that I returned. Now, when I did my February haul video, I said that I had a few misgivings, but you know, I'd give it a chance. And then when I went to link some of those books, all of them from, I think it was like Lifestyle Gray Press or something like that, the majority of their books had been pulled. And so I just decided, nope, I'm going to return it, even though I'm not someone who generally returns things. And so I returned those three. I also decided to return that Gothic one. I really enjoyed the images, but like I said in that video, I didn't know how much I'd be able to color, and honestly, I didn't know how much I would enjoy because of that. And because I was returning things anyway, I just returned that. And then I also returned the Spiral Bound book. It wasn't what I was expecting, and that's on me. I didn't do my research beforehand, but it wouldn't let me return it. It just automatically refunded it to me. So I did take it to work, and once the next time we have a school drive, I'm just going to include that and potentially some other coloring books in that. And if I do that, I'll definitely let you know what books I am destashing. Okay, so I think that catches me up with all of that stuff. So let me show you some supplies that I've purchased, and then we'll get into my coloring book haul. Okay, so I did purchase some distress inks. These colors I do not have yet in my set, and I do have room for one more set of 4 from Amazon. This would be the 4th container of distress inks that I have. I don't feel the need to have all of them, but I was kind of low in some lighter colors. I have vibrant colors and I have darker colors, but I didn't really have any pinks, and I can always use greens, and so I decided on these, and I'll probably look for one more set to kind of round out. I'll see where there might be other gaps. Right now I'm thinking some lighter grays, and then just go from there. So I did pick up the tin and these inks. Along with it, I picked up some of these brushes just to get me into the smaller spaces. I don't know how well they work, but I thought I'd give them a try. It was a set of 2 like this. I'm sorry if the glare is insane, but I didn't take them out of the packaging yet. And then I didn't buy pencils. I actually had bought these set of pencils, I think back in 2022, but I keep these tins because that's where I keep my stencils. And so I did order a new set of stencils. It's probably going to be hard for you guys to see it, but it's, I want to say, a 6x6. There's a good variety of stencils in here, and I do like using stencils for backgrounds. If you're interested in anything I'm showing you, I don't know that I'll be linking anything, but let me know if you are, and I can certainly link them for you. But yeah, just a variety of stencils. I think it's like 12 or 16. I do have another tin of my other stencils, and I just find it handy to keep in here, and it's something I can slide into my desk. I did purchase an electric eraser. I don't have one. This is the Amazon brand, Amazon Basics. It was quite affordable and the reviews were decent. I specifically bought this to try some of those bokeh effects I've seen. I haven't used it yet because I've yet to get some batteries, and we have them. It's just I need to go get them. But this is something I also purchased, and I don't know what these are. Oh, I guess if you need something really small, you use this kind of adapter, and these are erasers, but these are the regular sized erasers. I don't know, I literally just opened this up right now, but that's something else I purchased. And then when I was in Walmart like a week ago, I saw these alcohol markers. You guys know I love alcohol markers and I love grays. Out of the color sets that I usually run out of first, it's skin tones, grays, greens, and blues. And so I picked this up, I think it was like $7 or $8, and it's 6 colors and a blender pen. The barrel kind of reminds me of Spectrum NAR pens that my friend Poet had sent to me, and these are from Royal Langnickel. I know I've heard that brand. I don't know why. I've used some of these and some of the ones I'm going to be showing you, and I like them. And I have learned over the years that I do prefer a chisel and fine point versus a brush alcohol marker, just because I guess the way that I color, I tear up the nib really badly. So this one, it just stays firmer for me, and it gives me kind of the control that I need. Well, after I'd used this, I decided, okay, well, let me look on Walmart's website, because I don't know that I'd seen this anywhere or seen this in anyone's video. And so Walmart had some other curated sets. And I got rid of most of the packaging, but I just cut these out. And so I got these sets here. So a seashore, a complexion, forest, and spring. This one I bought because I do have pastel markers, but I took them to work. More and more alcohol markers via Amazon indicate they won't ship here. And so even though I bought, I'm pretty sure my Ohuhu pastel markers via Amazon, I can't order another set. They won't ship them here. I don't think I had ordered them via Walmart. I didn't see any Ohuhus on Walmart's website. And Liz at Home is doing a pastel hashtag, I think for the month of April only. I'm not 100% sure. And so I thought, well, if I wanted to do any coloring at home, I can curate from the other sets, or I can just use this one. I always run out of complexion markers, like I said, and then blues and greens are something I also run out quite frequently as well. Now these came in boxes similar to the one I just showed you, just larger, but I decided to move them into pouches. Now, having moved them into pouches, I know this is not going to work for me, and so I actually ordered something on Amazon that should be coming. It's like the black zipper bags that alcohol markers sometimes come in, especially the Ohuhus. I just got a couple of those, and so right now I have my grays and a blender pen in this. It's just something I had. I moved all of the skin and the cool tones, if you can see the colors right there, into an Archer and Olive box that I had. It doesn't close properly, and so it is not very secure because it is not level, but I'll wrap a rubber band in here until I get the bag. And then you guys know I had ordered this last month. It's a cool box, and so I've got, oh no, I guess those were the warm tones or the complexion, because I've got all of the cool tones in here. And I like it because I can kind of tilt it to the side like that and see the colors. Because originally I was just going to keep the sets, like the seashore and the forest, together. But I like that if I want a blue or a green or some purples, then I can just come into this box right here. There's a blender pen here, but there's a total of 4 of these blender pens, and I've actually got that set to this side. So those are all of the supplies. So let me show you the books. So I did pick up the newest Hannah Lynn, at least I think it's the newest, the Fantasy Faces, the line art, and the grayscale pocket size edition. There is actually a regular size, but I do like these pocket ones better. And if you haven't seen this, it is exactly the same image, except one is grayscaled and one is line art. So it's not one of those more complicated, less complicated, zoomed in, zoomed out. It's not that. It's just the difference between these grayscale versus not grayscale. I do have some buddy colors in here. Deb, Pixie, Poet, and I. Deb and Pixie already completed this page because they had this book before. Poet and Deb have completed this page because they had that book before I got it, and then we kind of bullied, inspired, whatever word you want to use, Pixie into getting it as well. So that's definitely on my list. This also goes for a Poets birthday goodies for Poets hashtag, and so I definitely will get that done this month. And then Amanda Downey and I are going to do this page. I wanted to have this done by the end of March because this could have counted towards the Pixie Disney Challenge of Alice in Wonderland, but obviously I didn't get it done. But I do have 2 buddy colors already set up in this book right here. Fantasy Faces by Hannah Lynn. I think I saw this on Grumble's channel, although it could have been Tammy's, it could have been Pixie's, it could have been Poets, it could have been anyone's really. But I do love the artwork in here. I am definitely going to be more choosy when I'm getting books like these independent ones, because this is not an Amazon printed book. I have more faith that it is legitimate artwork and artwork by an artist and not AI generated. I would think there's a vetting system. I don't know, but I do love detail pages. And I do love architecture and indoor scenes. And so this kind of gives me some mythographic, except none of those earlier renditions with hidden objects. And I just kind of like some of the perspectives and the way that some of the items are put together. Like this is a kitchen within a pot on top of cutting board. And so I kind of like the juxtaposition of that. And there's just enough open space and yet detail on here that I think will be really interesting to work in. So it's Tiny Worlds, and it's illustrated by Matt Edwards. Now I did have, or I still do, a Daria Song coloring book. And I got it right in the beginning of my coloring book journey, and I realized I did not like it. And so now I use it for crafting projects because there really wasn't any pages that kind of drew me into it. Now I know that Doodle Robot has this book because she has altered at least one of the pages. And so it's been on my radar. And then my friend Jen over at Instagram had asked if I had this because she was interested in working in hers. I'm like, you know what? I've been wanting it. It's been on my radar, so I'm just going to go get it. I believe the page we're going to work on is this one right here. And I chose the page and asked if it was okay with her. And I chose it specifically because my first foray into this book, I did want it to be just one page. A lot of these images in here are double page spreads. I'm also going to be using alcohol markers on this. One, because I don't care about any of these little thumbnails of it. But 2, there are images that I love and images that I probably will never color. And I am more likely to color in a book if I can use my alcohol markers and not worry about what's on the other page than feel like I have to do either water or pencil work, because it's taxing on my hands. And so I did get this book right here. This page right here actually was the first one I was going to suggest, but I do have a lot of buddy colors that are big for April. And so I thought, well, okay, maybe we can ease into this one right here, because I love the imagery on this. And even though I don't like mandalas or pattern books where you're just coloring endless sameness, this is, I know, the same flowers, the same leaves, and yet there's something about the movement. There's just something about this that makes me far more interested in coloring something like this than something like a pattern page or a mandala page. I don't know, that's just how my brain works. But this is Darius Song's The Night Voyage. I had looked in my local Target and Walmart, but they're usually about a month behind in getting it actually in store. And so I ordered this online. This is Mythographic Aviary. Now, when I told Poet that I had ordered this, she's like, wait, what? But you hate birds. She's not wrong. But when I've seen flip throughs of this, I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of my favorites. Now I say that a lot, like a lot. And I don't know the last time I actually finished a mythographic page. But there's just something about the imagery in here that I find interesting that I wouldn't actually mind coloring a bird, right? Because I mean, my go-to is, well, I can always black it out. But I think it's really interesting. I truly do. And so I'm happy to have this. We are going to be working on this one. By we, I mean Poet and I. This also counts towards her birthday goodies for Poet because of tea. And so this is something else I'd like to get done for the month of April. But that is Mythographic Aviary, and the artwork is Joseph Contabang. Now, this is one of two books that I picked up from Book Depository. I saw earlier today, I think it was Colorful Pirate, had said that Book Depository, or done a screenshot, that Book Depository is going out of business, which is unfortunate because, I mean, one, for all of the employees there, but also for, you know, selfish reasons. While I didn't use it a lot, I knew that if I needed to, it was a resource where I could find books that just doesn't show up on Amazon, and shipping is free. But I had seen this book on Candace's channel, Happy Catastrophe, and I don't know that I'd seen it before, and I was instantly struck by the artwork. It is a Korean coloring book. I think it's Myths and Fables or something like that. It is essentially single-sided unless you are concerned about the artwork on the other side. To be perfectly honest, I don't know that I am. I do like seeing the completed or the artist's rendition, because there are some images in here I don't know exactly what's going on unless I had a picture here, just because it is so detailed. And so I do like it, but this is another one where I'm pretty sure I'm going to use alcohol markers just because it is the easiest medium for me to use with my hands and my shoulder. And there are some double page spreads that I had thought backed up into other colored pages, but I guess not. But it does definitely affect the artwork, which I am willing to sacrifice. I mean, worst case scenario, I take a picture of all of the completed artworks, print them out, and then use that as my reference. But it's not one of the books, very few are, that I feel I'm going to complete the entire thing. So for me, I get my money's worth if I do a few pages at the very least, and I enjoy it. Like I said, I don't link things, and because this site is closing, I don't know that you can find this anywhere else. I wouldn't know where to direct you to. But if you do want it and it's before April 26th, let me know, and I can give you the link that I found to Book Depository if they still have any in stock. So it's this one right here, and I didn't translate anything, so I don't know who the artist is as well. Now, because I was ordering from Book Depository, I thought, okay, well, I'm going to get this book as well. This is the second book from the artist Doming. Same artist as this one right here. This is still in the original Korean. This one was republished in Japanese. The language actually does not matter to me either way. I don't read Korean or Japanese, but for the longest time you couldn't find this fairy tale one, and this one I did get from Amazon Japan, but I've looked for this on Amazon and Amazon Japan and I couldn't find it. And so because I was doing an order from Book Depository, I thought, okay, fine, I'll get this. Now, it has been a while since I had seen a flip through on this, because I was quite surprised when I started flipping through. It is a smaller book. Let me get an opal. So this is an opal book, Forest Girl number 3. I don't think it's exactly 8.5 by 11, but it's very close. And this one is just a smidge smaller tops and sides. Okay, so that in and of itself is not a big deal. It is hardback, and other than my Maria Trolle, Hannah Carlzon, and Clara Markova, it is actually one of the very few hardbacks I have. I do have Vitro. I don't know if that's considered a hardback, and I do have the Lady Spring, but everything else is soft cover. Again, irrelevant. What I didn't realize though is there are double images. Now, the way that this looks, and I didn't translate anything because I never feel the need to. I don't really care what any of it says. It looks like you can cut this out and potentially send it to a friend with a note. And it has the artwork for the friend to use. It has this little writing space here, and then you have an image here. Now, because you're cutting it off of the spine, that means it will keep your book intact. Now, I kind of like that idea that I could share some of this artwork with friends, but then because of the way that it's together, I don't know what it's going to do to this. I don't know how it's going to sit if half of the book is gone because I've given it away, but this isn't flexible. So I think it would sit weird. I don't know. I'm not someone who generally colors doubles, but the Ikuko book that I have, the Surreal Faces, is the exception to that rule. And like my eerie little postcard thing, if I have to have the doubles of images, then that's fine. But I was quite taken aback because the images itself are weird and odd and quirky, and I think this book is called something like Odd or Weird or Quirky or something like that. But they are interesting to me. It's just, yeah, I wasn't expecting to see the same image, and they're literally the same. There's no deviation, no difference at all to it. But it is something that I've had on my radar for quite some time, and like I said, as of right now, the only place that I could see it, unless I get it off of Etsy, is on Book Depository. But so I got this. This is the other book that I got from Book Depository in March. Now, this book is from Lyrica. In fact, the last 3 books I'm going to show you are from Lyrica.com. And I have been wanting this for a while. This and the Silhouettes book, also a Disney book, are the 2 that I think would round out my Disney collection. I don't actually color a lot of Disney, but I decided to get this one because Disney Meg, I think Jamie, I think Amanda Colors, they all have this book. And for Meg's monthly alphabet challenge, they've been coloring out of this. Now, it is a flip up book, glued at the top. And from what Meg says, these pages will fall out, and that totally makes sense to me. So I did just order a slide-in portfolio where I can just kind of take this apart and put it and store it in there. I am not a fan of these flip-up books, but you know, that's how you get the artwork. The paper seems like some of the other Hachette Hero paper, but it is single-sided, so it doesn't matter that it isn't super thick, because it's going to be an alcohol marker washi tape kind of book for me. I'll probably just focus on the main elements and then do a wash of color, probably some kind of water medium on the back, just because I really just want to focus on that, and then just do either glitter paint, acrylic paint, or washi on the letter if the cutting around things isn't too intricate. So it's ABCDR, a Hachette Hero coloring book, and it basically goes through the entire alphabet with multiple options. Like for the month of April, R is Meg's choice of letter, and so she and a bunch of others are going to be coloring this Russell page, as will I. But there's also Rapunzel, and there's also, I believe, Rafiki to choose from. So not every letter has multiples, because I think there's only one for Z. There's also a few numbers at the back, but I'm very happy with this. Again, the only other one that's on my radar is the silhouettes, where it's the character in the middle and then some decoration around it. I don't know that I've seen it. I certainly don't know that I've seen it on Amazon, and if I do another lyrical order, I might take a look to see if they have it. But that's this one right here. This one I had seen, I think, on Grumble's channel, or perhaps it was Tammy's. I believe they both recently did a lyrica haul. Honestly, it could have also been Farrell's Shoujo. I watched a number of videos, so sometimes it all kind of runs together. But this is Petite Peuples de Forest. I'm thinking it's petite something in the forest. Again, didn't translate it, didn't care. The artwork is by Martha Mulkey, and it is quite interesting. So lots of leaves and trees and the whatnot. The little characters, it's going to sound really weird, but seem very French to me. It's single-sided. And I like the majority of it. Something like this, there's a lot of big spaces, so I don't know that unless there was a prompt to color something like Bird Lady, I don't know that I would. I like this because of the characters, but there are pages in here like this. That is, there's a few characters. Well, okay, there's the one, but otherwise this is a mandala page, not something I'm truly interested in. Or something like this. Again, very mandala patterny to me. Very big spaces. Don't know that I would color it, because if there's a prompt for fox, which that looks like to me, or gnome, there's other places I can get that. But I do like the images in here. I think it's a very interesting coloring book. It's single-sided. The paper's decent, because I do have other books from Hachette Hero in this size. And so yeah, I've gotten this one right here. However, the one that I was most anticipating, definitely was inspired by Tammy's, Tammy Colors too, is this one. Now, if you guys know me at all, you know that I do not like coloring color by number, pattern pages, or mandalas. I love seeing the things out in the community because you guys are amazing, but I don't own any color by number. I do have that color by colors, and I did purchase that early in my coloring book journey where I didn't know any better. But this has kind of two things going for it. One, it's stained glass, and although I don't color in my vitro book enough, I do enjoy a stained glass book. And two, it is quite detailed. Now, I have not colored on anything in here. I'm going to tell you right now, there are some colors that I will stay true to the palette, and there are some that I will just deviate on my own. Now, I'll show you a couple of the answer key in the back to kind of explain why. So these are the answer key. If you're not into that, hopefully you've looked away. So for instance, this Anna or Elsa, I've never watched the movie, so I'm not exactly sure, but I like her in those colors, but for this really dark color, I think it's black, I'd probably change it up. For Merida, I like all of this here, but I don't know that I necessarily like all of these colors. Like this bear here kind of gets drowned out by the colors. Also, I don't know that I would do the stained glass for her instead of concentrating on the stained glass behind and doing her a solid color or more of a gradiated color. And I mean, it's my coloring book. I can do what I want. Now, I've been talking to Tammy via DM, and that's all I'm going to show you, so you can look away. It is double-sided. And there's actually a little bit of color on the page. Like her eyeballs and lips and one finger is colored, but then there's nothing on him. I don't know what that's about. But I don't know if I'm going to be using my alcohol markers. Because if I do, I will definitely ruin the other side. But it's also a book I know that I'm not going to color every single image. And so I don't know. I'm kind of torn. Because I think I would definitely enjoy it if it were alcohol marker. But on the other hand, do I really want to ruin the other side of the image? Some of them you can see. Like there's 3 cats on here. Some of them it's a little harder to see. I don't think that the letters or the numbers are very dark, so if I use alcohol markers you'd still be able to see it. But again, not having actually had a color by numbers, I don't know if that's going to be a breaking point for me. I do know that Feral Shoujo, Disney Meg, and others use acrylic paint pens in here. I do have some acrylic paint pens, but not a big range of colors. I don't have a very big selection of acrylic paints. I'm certainly not going to mix things. And so it's definitely going to be a book where I'm using mediums that I already have. And whether it's water-based marker or pencils, I don't know. I know my likelihood to work in a book is directly correlated to either the medium that I use or if it's a buddy color. Number 55 in this book, right here, is from the Red Panda movie. I watched it once and it was cute, but I don't know that I'll ever watch it again. But for Pixie, her April Pixie Disney Challenge is from that movie. So yay, I actually have something I can color. But even this one, some of the colors that are on the background, I will probably lighten so that these characters really stand out. And also once I've done all the coloring, I might black out some of the outlines just to really make it pop. I've never had one of these. I don't know that I'll have another one of these, but I was quite excited about this. And actually later on, after I finish some of my chores for today, then I will sit down and start coloring here and just testing some mediums. On the back here is Peter Pan. And I might be willing to sacrifice him because if I need a Peter Pan prompt, I actually have him in several of other different things. And so this might be a tester of alcohol markers, water-based pens, pencils, and glitter gel pens, just a variety of things just to see what kind of mediums I like and how much of a problem those letters and numbers are that are going to be peeking through. But yeah, I'm so excited about this, and it's side. And it's not hard. It is quite large, and so I will need to find a place to store this. But otherwise, that is the end of my haul, guys. I'm looking forward to coloring this. I am definitely going to be a little bit, well, not a little bit, a lot of it, choosy on the kinds of books, just because with all of the AI stuff there, with all of the stock images, pictures. There's so many artists that have their own independent voices and works that I'd rather concentrate on that. All right, guys, I'd love to know if you have any of these books. Definitely let me know in the comment section below. All right, well, that's it for me for now. And as always, aloha.